biodiesel plant burst into flames this morning. We have the latest from Bunston. Firefighters from across mid-Missouri rushed to a small town south of Boonesville this afternoon. Missouri Better bean plant exploded. Good evening, I'm Adam Pressler.
And I'm Chris Gothner. Flames engulfed the plant, which blew up out of nowhere at around 11 a.m. this morning. KOMU 8's Emma Henderson spent the afternoon on the scene and joins us now live in studio to tell us more.
The fire in Bunston appears to be under control after a long day of fighting flames. Firefighters and law enforcement work together to put out the flames and assess the damage. You can still smell the fuel in the air, and parts of the roadways are covered in oil residue from the water runoff. As residents recall what happened today, the fire chief says they've got a long cleanup process ahead of them.
There's supposed to be an explosion, and so he drove 90 miles an hour, lights and signs all the way here.
I don't have a tally yet, but we put thousands and thousands and thousands. Since 11:30 today, we've been putting water on it.
Unfortunately, the plant where the fire occurred is considered a, quote, total loss.
2 men were shot off a Peachtree Drive near Nifong Square earlier this morning. Both men were sent to the hospital, but their condition is currently unknown. Several cartridge casings were found at the scene. At this point, there is no suspect description. CPD is asking anyone who might have any information about the shooting to contact them directly or call Crime Stoppers at 573-875-TIPS. We'll keep you updated on all the latest as we get more information. Columbia police are also investigating shell casings found near MU's campus. MU sent out an alert around 11 last night warning students of shots fired incident near campus. Within 30 minutes, MU warned students the situation was stable. Police say they found shell casings near the intersection of Hitt Street and Cherry Street. No one was injured, and the police do not have a suspect description. MU asks students to call their parents and let them know that the situation is under control.
Flags continue to fly at half-mast across the state in mourning of the young state trooper who died in the line of duty Friday. Trooper James Bava was trying to pull a driver over when his car veered left, crashed into trees, flipped, and caught fire. To better understand the dangers of the job, KOMU 8 spoke to Columbia resident and highway patrolman Gary Gundy, who has been serving since 1989. He's been shot at, chased cars at 100 miles per hour, and protects the roads during extreme weather. Gundy shared with me that he takes great pride in helping his community despite how dangerous his job may be.
My greatest enjoyment in this job is helping people out on the highway. You know, I would just as soon change somebody's tire for them as write a ticket. If I could say anything to their family, his family, I'd say, you know, he died, but I'm sure he died doing what he wanted to do, you know. And if they could take any solace in that, that's just one of the things that happens, you know.
In Trooper Bava's memory, all troopers are wearing a memorial pin as seen on Trooper Gundy, and a trooper car will receive a sticker dedicated in Bava's honor.
Columbia police are looking for 2 suspects after an early morning armed robbery. CPD says the robbery happened around 3 a.m. on the 1700 block of Stanford Drive. Officers say 2 suspects kicked in the front door of the victim's home while he was sleeping. The victim told police the suspects approached him and demanded money. Police say no property was taken from the home, and one of the suspects pistol whipped the victim. He was taken to a nearby hospital for treatment, and CPD asks that with anyone with information, call 573-875-TIPS.
2 Southwest Missouri car dealers have been convicted in a scheme to launder drug money. The Springfield News Leader reports 64-year-old Philip Del Grosso and 40-year-old Jeffrey Kane were found guilty of several felony charges. Prosecutors say the men's auto group in Ozark was struggling when a man fresh out of prison approached them. Authorities say the drug dealer would pick out the cars he wanted in exchange for cash.
If you ever pass by Flat Branch Creek, you may have noticed flyers posted around the park. The Columbia-Boone County Health Department reported high levels of E. coli in the water at the park. The department says the bacteria is common during the summer months, but residents think that the city could have done more to inform the park goers.
If you hadn't told me, I would have no idea, and my dog would be drinking out of this water. I mean, we just saw another dog drinking out of the water, and that's a little bit concerning for me because, I mean, my dog is my pride and joy.
The city plans on testing the water until early September.
A single-engine aircraft's nose gear collapsed while landing on Columbia Regional Airport's main runway today. The airport's public safety team found the pilot, who was flying solo, checking out the damage on the nose section of the plane. There was no fire and the pilot was not hurt. The airport closed while employees removed the plane from the runway, which delayed a flight to Dallas. Columbia Regional is now open.
A community put the finishing touches on a historic cemetery today.
Yeah, Adam, I was in Randolph County talking to a Jacksonville teen who made the cemetery's restoration his Eagle Scout project. Here's a look at how it all came about. For 14-year-old Luke Mathias, restoring the nearly 130-year-old Reynolds Cemetery has been a long time in the making. Years ago, a member of his church told his dad about the cemetery's dilapidated condition.
She said it was a disgrace that it's in the condition that it is, but then I was actually a Cub Scout, and we were all too young to do anything about the project.
But finally, Luke took this project on in June as his final step to becoming an Eagle Scout, something he's wanted to do since the first grade. He's been working with family, friends, and the community over this wet summer to get the cemetery back into shape.
It wasn't too many hot days, but when the grass was really tall, you got soaked just walking into the cemetery.
A Macon man came down to the cemetery to visit relatives who passed away. He says he and other family members used to try to keep the cemetery clean, but old age and family deaths made it too hard.
We're getting up in age where we can't do much anymore, so it was going down, and we thank God that they had some people come out to take interest in it.
The people buried here represent a part of Mid-Missouri's past. Rosetta Reynolds, who died in 1930, was born into slavery.
I had no idea that we had slavery in North Missouri, and that just 1 and 2 generations away, their descendants are still here. And just meeting these people and learning their family history has just been awesome.
For Grant, the project gives him hope for the future.
To see a young man to take interest in things like this here, it's going to be a beautiful world when people like that, coming along and everything.
A great project. A few local companies donated crosses, a fence, and signs to help Luke finish his project. To learn more about Luke's Eagle Scout project, we have a link for you on our website, KOMU.com. Early morning showers turned into sunny days this week. Let's check in with Sydney to see what we can expect for the rest of the weekend.
And we aren't expecting much sunshine throughout the rest of the weekend, but right now we still have some clouds passing on through mid-Missouri. We are dry, though. There's a slight chance for showers and thunderstorms overnight tonight. But temperatures are starting to cool down also in the 70s, 74 in Columbia, 74 in Jefferson City. Also Moberly cooler, checking in right at 69 degrees tonight, 70 over in Boonville. We're going to continue to cool down overnight tonight. We're looking at an overnight low of 66 degrees, mostly cloudy. Still have that chance for some isolated thunderstorms. Winds will be light coming from the southeast. Cloud cover is going to stick around for your Sunday. Coming up in just a little bit, we'll take a look at your 8-day forecast.
Thanks, Sydney. A Columbia woman celebrated a big milestone today.
After the break, we'll tell you what made today so special.